First of all, first of all, what a World Cup semifinal. This round of semifinals was a tactical battle, a reliance on star, and at the same time, discipline to be able to go all the way and use the 90 minutes for some. But it was a great performance from the four nations that were in this quarterfinals. Apologies, in this semifinals. But this 2026 World Cup semifinals delivered a master class in high stakes drama, pitting four of globe's absolute top ranked football heavyweight nations against each other in the ruthless battles of tactical wit again. Through these intensely contested matches, we saw a stark limitations of relying solely on isolated superstar talent when confronted by cohesive, well-drilled teams that have such a tactical development engraved in their game. But ultimately, the round revealed the passive game management, and retreating into these decisive shells will be heavily punished at this level of the World Cup, paving the way for the highly anticipated final between two of the tournament's most adaptable and structured units, which is Argentina and Spain. We will definitely see some football, some amazing tactical football. But for those that don't know, esto es pase ambidiestro, ambidextrous pass, fútbol honestamente, soccer, football honestly. And in this World Cup, we had, as we know, the semifinals: Spain, France against Spain, and England against Argentina. But as we always do, we're going to dive into this and we're going to give the tactical breakdown of each team, and we're going to summarize what happened in the matches and some talking points that this brings up each team and how they approach the game. But firstly, we're going to dive into a France against Spain. A France that loses 2-0 against Spain. Mikel Oyarzabal opened the scoring with the 22nd minute penalty kick after Lamine Yamal drew a foul that became very contradicting, a very problematic situation. Some did not agree with the situation, others did. Smart from Lamine to go and fight the ball when he noticed Digne has no eyes around on his surroundings. Unlucky for Digne for not checking his surroundings and being aware of such winger that has really fast pace on when it comes to pressuring and on the ball. The simple reason why this becomes a penalty is for the type of contact. You don't know if Digne did not do that. Lamine could have had a situation of goal, and at the same time is a kick that Digne does not realize where is standing, and sadly his awareness is not at the best level, and Lamine just outsmarts the situation and how can he play to his advantage. We all saw what he did, and we all saw that he played the situation to his advantage. But Spain's defense successfully contained also Kylian Mbappe and the whole French attack to register their sixth shutout of the tournament and secure their place in the final for the World Cup. Spain's approach to this game, they relied heavily on establishing territorial control through the central double pivot with Rodri and Fabian Ruiz, who dedicated the tempo and effectively just suffocated France's midfield transition. Out wide, they aggressively overloaded their right flanks using Lamine Yamal direct inside cutting runs with Pedro Porro's overlapping surges to isolate and exploit the French left back Digne. This targeted wing play yield both goals. Their high counter press quickly recover loose balls to deny France any sustainable attacking momentum. Spain were pressuring the ball right. Spain's were cutting the transition of the ball right. And not only that, Spain's movement on the ball when having possession was impeccable by each of Spanish players from the defense to the midfield. They were using each other as a web. They were using each other in the space to find and build the sequence of passes to come out of the pressure, or at least to just maintain the possession in a more calm situation. Every time we saw France pressure with one or two players, the Spain players would move the ball in a nice sequence, which to me, a team like Spain is a team that has the best midfielders in the current game. And when they work as a unit, this Spanish football has been developing. And the tiki taka, the development of managing the game through touch and sequence has become a DNA, if not part of the DNA of this Spanish football national team and the type of football that Spain plays in their league too. And as we saw, many people say that France did not look right. Many people said that France did not step into the game the right way. I just believe that Spain did not allow France to feel comfortable or get comfortable in the game in any sense. Every time France tried to build, Spain will cut the play, they will pressure hard, and then out of there, Spain will grab the ball, play possession, and open. And France tried to pressure, but Spain had a great movement on and off the ball. France is a great team, cannot take that away from them, but they lack in many ways. And one of them majorly was the technical part of a team. That was a huge reason why this French team wasn't able to cope with Spain. But Spain just became so sustainable in its own momentum that they created the whole pace of the game and did not leave France to be able to sniff or at least create moments of danger against the Spanish defense. France, on the other hand, their approach towards this game, France, they line up with a compact 4-2-3-1. They were choosing to sit in a structured mid-low block and rely on the rapid counterattacks, utilizing the electric pace of Kylian Mbappe, Ousmane Dembele, Barcola. However, the defensive plan buckled under sustained pressure, and on their left side, where the lack of defensive tracking from the left winger, the left winger, left Digne, constantly just exposed on 2-on-1 situations. Once behind, France struggled to find a creative rhythm as playmaker Michael Olise was systematically just crowded out, forcing them into a hopeful low probability long balls that Spain's defense was just handling easy and knowing how to get the space, protect the space, and let the ball roll out constantly. France was trying to do what is the last resource of doing in a game, which is just putting long balls and trying to see if your forwards can go and fight those balls to try to produce some type of danger in your favor. But in this France against Spain, we have a system against a star power. A massive talking point was the contrasting coaching philosophies of Luis de la Fuente and Didier Deschamps. Spain played with highly coordinated, fluid, and structured systems that successfully suffocated the French midfield and isolated the French dangerous wingers. France just conversely appear heavily relying on individual brilliance rather than the cohesive collective game plan, leaving attackers like Kylian Mbappe completely isolated without adequate service at all from anybody. But Spain was doing great covering the spaces, the ball transition. The midfield Spain dominated. Every time they would be pressured, they would move the ball in a fast sequence, one touch. Everybody being really, really disciplined on the tactical advice that the manager has given. Spain plays through its DNA, which is ball possession. Spain has had one of the best midfield generations coming up in the past 10 years, 10, 15 years. And we've seen this in the works. And I do believe that Spain will keep creating some of the best midfielders. Spain, in the first division La Liga, they have 20 teams. Spain has the luxury of picking at least one midfielder per club. Spain has options that run depth in the midfield, which gives them such a advantage of putting players that are great moving the ball forward, putting midfielders that are great attacking the ball, putting midfielders that are great intercepting play, midfielders that can come your. They have options. Spain has options. Spain has many, many options on replacing players with similar or different profile in per position in the midfield. They might not have a number 9. They might not have the best number 9, but Spain has some of the best technical midfielders that the game in certain nations are starving for at the moment, but Spain has the luxury to have them in abundance. But France costly roster also the France roster, it was costly, and also the bad luck just got them. Didier Deschamps faced immediate scrutiny for his squad selection and starting 11 decisions, leaving a highly rated Paris Saint-Germain youngster Desire Doué on the bench. And this was a massive pre-match talking point to make matters worse. France's structural integrity took a major hit when star defender William Saliba was forced off due to injury shortly after Spain's first goal. And the left back Lucas Digne was repeatedly targeted and exposed on Spain's dominant right flank again. But against this Spain's suffocating central double pivot of Rodri and Fabian Ruiz, France midfield was entirely bypassed, leaving players like Mikel Oyarzabal isolated. And this is where the breaking the midfield trap and the low blocks comes into play. And this also brings the Turkey factor in this situation. As a natural number 10, who excels at playing in the half turn, Turkey thrives in congested spaces. Often, his elite close control and low center of gravity allow him to receive under intense pressure, and he's just able to shield the ball and turn and face the goal. This draws the Spain midfielders out of position, disrupting their defensive shape and creating spaces for the teammates. And the another point that brings this and how Turkey was not included into this is the pure dribbling and the predictability that Turkey has to his game. And these modern tactical systems like Spain's rely on predictable pressing triggers and maintaining structural discipline often. The Turkey factor to this is that Turkey is a highly unorthodox ambidextrous playmaker who plays with a high degree of flair and improvisation because he's just equally comfortable passing or shooting the ball with either foot. Defenders, they cannot force him onto a weaker side in any way because he has that ability to be ambidextrous, and that becomes the rareness, that chaotic X factor capable of just unlocking a rigid and organized defense through the sheer individual skill that he has. And at the same time, the transition into the final third is another topic that comes on that Turkey could have helped France just open the game in their favor. During the semifinal, as we saw, the France struggled to progress the ball smoothly through through their midfield to Kylian or Dembele or Barcola. This just often resorting to hope for long balls. They play the long balls, and that is not a great strategy to use against a team like Spain. But this comes the Turkey factor. Turkey ranks among the absolute elite in progressive carriers and pre-assist. When positioned in the half spaces, he acts as a vital link, just literally sliding perfectly weighted, um, line breaking passes into the pass of France rapid wingers. He has been able to do this before, and this type of games are his kind of game. While Turkey did not come off the bench, while he did come off the bench in the 72nd minute of the semifinal, many French fans and analysts out there believe that his creative profile was needed much more earlier to disrupt Spain's rhythm and offer France functional way to play through the lines. And I do believe Turkey was needed for France due to his talent on the ball. Yes, he might not help much defensively, but when he has the opportunity and he gets the ball, danger will be created from his feet playing forward. Maybe the chances, that's one of the reasons that he did not put this Turkey. But this Turkey seems himself surrounded by so much more talent that has been stated for years in there, and hopefully Turkey gets a new chapter with the rumors of Zinedine Zidane that have been talked about since the beginning of this year. The champs is officially ending his cycle with the French team, and Zinedine Zidane will be taking over, and hopefully he does. But hopefully Turkey, a natural number 10 with the creativeness and vision he has to play forward and on balance with his creativity. Hopefully he gets a new chapter with Zinedine Zidane, and a Zinedine Zidane that could probably reason with his talent and also find usage for a player like him that can unlock games when they are so tactically tight. But I believe that this French team is missing technicality. I believe this French team is pure explosiveness and change of speed. They need more tactical organization, better individual movements, knowing how to possess the ball and create or at least come out of situations where when being pressed and the only option to play is back, and knowing how to play from the back to open space as a web, something that Spain does really well. They move the ball and they have individual movement, which creates more space and a better movement of ball to feel more comfortable when being pressed. France has a lot of work to do. Many thought that this France that was coming on with a amazing progress, showing a great display through the World Cup. Many thought that this French team was going to come and just do as they please with Spain, but it did not work like that. It did not come out like that. For those that follow football in other continents, the continental tournaments such as Nations League, the Euros, anybody that follows the Copa America, these tournaments where you see the best talent and the best players, and if you keep with those tournaments, and for those that saw the 2025 Nations League semifinal, notice that yes, Spain did have a great game, but Spain also seemed to struggle. In the game, they won 5-4. A game that France was losing, but the time Turkey came in, the game went 5-4. When Turkey came in, France took a different energy. The productiveness and creativity was coming through Turkey's feet. So you had the example, but the champs decided to play the way that he played, and this France team needs a creative player, needs players that can tactically play technical, sometimes just come by to open space, not necessarily grab the ball and play forward, knowing how to come the rhythm and manage momentum. France, they have great talent for the next 2 World Cups, 3 World Cups, if so, because there's a lot of French players coming up. It's one of the nations that I believe that will be always in the top 5, always top 5, challenging, fighting, because there's so much talent that France has, and France produces talent that plays for France and talent that does not have the opportunity to play for France, but they do have the opportunity to play for other nations that they are descendants of. But France now has a lot to organize and to see how they can play when they play against teams like Spain that will control the tempo, will control the ball possession, will do great pressing, moving the ball on and off the ball. Spain has a great movement that will just frustrate you when you don't have the same technical means as the opponent. Opponents like Spain will frustrate you when they have full freedom on the ball. And even when you try to press, if you don't have the right equation, the right moment and theory to attack or defend or press, Spain will eat you alive. But Spain has come in this with a very strong statement. Only 1 goal allowed, and that was in the quarterfinal against Belgium. And from there on, Spain has left their goal with 6 clean sheets. The Spanish defense is impeccable, the best defense of this World Cup, and also one of the best teams managing the game. They have progressed well. They have come all this way, and now it's time for Spain to show why they are able to take teams like France out, and why are they able to challenge teams like Argentina in this World Cup. But now we're gonna move on to an England, Argentina. In England, Argentina. In England, that loses 2-1 against Argentina. Defending champions Argentina advanced to the final of the 2026 World Cup after securing the dramatic 2-1 against England comeback victory. After a scoreless first half, Anthony Gordon put England ahead in the 55th minute with a close range strike before Enzo Fernández equalized for Argentina in the 85th minute from a shot corner. A play that started from the corner, played into Enzo. Enzo takes a shot from outside the box, and the rest is just history. In the 2nd minute of stoppage time, Lautaro Martínez headed home a precise cross from Lionel Messi, who registered assist on both goals. Leo Messi might not be scoring, but Leo Messi keeps assisting. You can't stop this guy. No matter how much you try, you cannot stop this guy. Messi is him. Messi is him. But this Messi assisted the 2 goals to seal a sensational late triumph and end England's hopes for the first final appearance in 60 years. England tactical approach. England manager Thomas Tuchel, he set up an organized 4-2-3-1, prioritizing the explosive tempos and wing play by starting Anthony Gordon and Morgan Rogers to directly attack Argentina's fullbacks. Out of possession, England utilized a structural mid block that successfully just limited central spaces, using Jude Bellingham's physical defensive work to stop Argentina from just cleanly finding Messi between the lines. Once they took the lead, England attempted to drop deep to preserve their advantage, but their strategy ultimately just collapsed when their midfield structure tried, and their structure was also tired, and they failed to defend the cross situations that we saw Argentina tried. Argentina, their tactical approach. Argentina just initially just they lined up on a balanced 4-4-2, aimed to monopolize central possession. Then through Enzo and Alexis McAllister to just systematically tire the English midfielder, in the midfield in general. Lionel Scaloni's side just focused on patient lateral recycling of the ball, waiting for Lionel Messi to drop deep and just drag that English center backs out of position to release Julian Alvarez into the channels. But when Argentina started chasing the match, Scaloni made the decisive tactical substitutions, bringing on Lautaro Martínez and switching in ultra offensive shape, which just overwhelmed English box and the defense, and just allow Messi to deliver the 2 game winning assists from wide areas. England decided that 1 goal was enough. That 1 goal was enough. But some of the talking points this game has brought is the decisions on the substitutions. They did backfire. A major talking point in the tactical chess match between these two managers, particularly Thomas Tuchel's second half adjustments after Anthony Gordon's opening goal in the 55th minute. Tuchel just opted to transition into a more conservative posture, taking off attackers like Gordon to introduce defensive reinforcements such as Esri, Konsa, and De Burn. This defensive retreat allowed Argentina to completely seize control of the midfield, ultimately just mounting a relentless siege of the English penalty box. Overcrowded constantly, Argentina were just recycling the ball left to right, trying to take shots through Enzo. Then after that, they decided to do the same thing, left to right. Isolated Messi to the right. That's how the second goal comes. But all this is building. The English players were just all defending. 11 players defending on top of the box and in the box. It's not a way to approach such game. This was a very feisty and a stop-start affair. True to the very historical rivalry, the match was incredibly physical, scrappy, and punctuated by tactical fouls that disrupted any fluid style of play. Players on both sides repeatedly clashed, notably a first half merely involving Elliot Anderson and Spence. They sandwiched Lionel Messi in the first half, but a lot of analysts and fans, they just extensively debate the referee's lenient threshold. A multiple aggressive challenges went unpunished before a wave of late yellow cards was finally handed out. And from all the inconsistency we have seen in this World Cup, I believe these 2 matches were not a stain from the referees, and there was not a lot of inconsistency. Yes, there will always be situations where you can argue whether you support one nation or the other that are playing, but I believe they were not stained. There was no much referee inconsistency or intervention that could have stained the game and give more reasons already from what the fans find unfair in the game to put and add to the situation. But the referee in this one, yes, cards started coming a little bit late, but I believe the referee did not stain the game and it played out. Argentina did what they had to do. England did not answer well and did not preserve their lead well. And this is just part of football. But Messi was the one who decided this game. Messi was the one who decided this game in England. At 39 years old, Lionel Messi just continues to define Argentina's championship pedigree. Despite a heavily congested English mid-block designed to specifically stop Lionel Messi, Messi just managed to unlock the game late in 2 moments of just pure Messi quality. This guy has class, and the best part is that Lionel Messi is classless. He has class, but he is classless. He's ranked in his own level of class. This guy at 39 years old, he's still putting up. He's defining for Argentina. He is being tested, being put out of the map of the team, and out of nowhere in 20 minutes, 10 minutes, 5 minutes. That's all it takes for Messi to just appear and remember who he is. Everybody remembers who he is in 5 minutes of brilliance, 5 decisive minutes. That's all it takes for players like Messi. But this Messi came in and unlocked the game with 2 moments of pure quality in providing the short corner setup for Enzo Fernández equalizer and the precise 92nd minute cross for Lautaro Martínez. That a Messi that put this whole English team on spiral, this English defense on spiral, did the perfect reception for Lautaro, and Lautaro just... El Toro hizo lo que el Toro tenía que hacer, Lautaro. And Lautaro Martinez gave the winning header. He has now put Argentina on the brink of becoming the first team to win back-to-back World Cups since Brazil in 1962. This England-Argentina game, England just clogged. They just clogged their game, deciding to sit back and defend the 1-0 lead. This all comes back to Tuchel and his technical team. They all decided to defend once in lead, and I'll keep saying this. I've been saying it since I've been on this channel, since I've been summarizing games, following international football, club football. I've been saying that England needs a manager that is willing to bring this team to the next level, to tap into the next level. When they get to the last rounds of certain competitions, or at least the international competitions that they're able to compete in, there is very important basis that you should have when you get to the last few rounds of such a World Cup, Euros, or even Nations League. One is the mentality and the grit. Those two matter, and mostly play to create more and preserve the lead. England decided to play the game, keep trying to create. They came with the creation, they came with the fruit. The creation came fruition. They score. As soon as they score, they decide to go back and defend. That is not the right mentality. When you are England and you have the tools you have in your bench, players, quality, technicality, but this English team once again stays due to the mentality, the grit that's needed, the lack of creativity, and the lack of just being able to preserve but not throw yourself back. And when you play against nations like Argentina, you will realize that there were some things that you should have not done, but that's part of the game. And Argentina has been destroying their opponents in the last 20 to 15 minutes of the 90 minutes that they give. In the second halves, they have been just able to suffocate the opponent, create, recycle, repeat until the opportunity shows. Then Argentina does whatever they have to do to make sure the opportunity is taken. But in the past 4 matches, this Argentina has been doing that. They have been finishing the game in the last 20 to 15 minutes, putting pressure, looking for errors, creating, recycling the ball, and just keep on suffocating the opponent. And that's exactly what they did to this England. It was evident England decided to go back. Argentina threw everything forward. Scaloni realized that and he threw his attacking tools forward. Argentina cannot be allowed to play and take you on a mental battle in the game. If you allow Argentina to play and take you on a mental battle, might as well write yourself out. If you allow this, they will take over. They will take over. England failed mentally to the point where they scored and decided to throw themselves back. From that moment on, England wrote themselves out the game. As simple as that. But we have our semifinalists. We have come to a conclusion of the semifinals. Now we have our finalists, and we also have our 2 nations that will be fighting for 3rd place. We're going to have Spain against Argentina. An amazing match that will test modern football and all these things that football has today. We're going to have the clash of styles, the best attack against the best defense. But some of the things that we did see in this semifinal, some of the things that have been revealed in this round of semifinals of the World Cup 2026. One is the collective systems trump isolated star power. The most prominent theme of these semifinals was the cohesive, well-drilled team structure will almost always dismantle the collection of talent in individuals. As we saw with Spain La Roja, they are a machine. Spain won 2-0, dismantling France, and that was a masterclass in collective mechanics. France pressed arguably the most terrifying individual attacking talent in the world, yet Kylian Mbappe was completely isolated because Spain controlled the spaces and choked out the supply lines. England's flatness. Similarly, England attacking talent. Boasting Jude Bellingham, Morgan Rogers, and Anthony Gordon struggled to function as a unit once Argentina began to squeeze the pitch. Relying on moments of individual magic is no longer enough to win the absolute pinnacle of international football at this point. Then another thing that was revealed in this round of semifinals was the danger of the defensive shell. Both matches showed that dropping into a passive low defensive block after taking a lead or trying to keep things tight is an incredible risky gamble in modern game. England's retreat after Anthony Gordon scored, England just immediately surrendered to the initiative, made ultra defensive substitutions, and invited an elite Argentina team onto them. In modern football, top tier sides possess too much quality. If you give them 30, 20 minutes, 15 minutes of interrupted possession around your penalty area, they will find a way to break you. Then France's static mid-block. France also paid the price for sitting back and falling to press Spain's double pivot. It proved that playing not to lose is a failing strategy. Playing not to lose is a failing strategy against elite tier opponents. And lastly, what was revealed in this what was revealed in this World Cup is the proactive game management is decisive edge. At this level, games are rarely won solely by the starting 11. They are decided by how managers adapt to the evolving game state, how the game is going. In those 90 minutes, how the game changes. How are you able to adapt to those moments? How are you able to manage those moments is decisive edge on the game. Scaloni's proactivity. Lionel Scaloni just recognized that England was dropping deep. So they just immediately adjusted Argentina's shape And he threw on Lautaro and just pushed his team forward to overload the channels. Proactive, brave coaching is what separates finalists from semi-finalists. You have to be able to take the risk. Why did England play the way they played the first 50 minutes? Because they were looking for the goal. Now, what makes you think that finding the goal and now throwing yourselves deep, knowing against who you are playing, is going to do any better for you and your team? When things were leveled and you found the game, you were going out taking a gamble on knowing that you could get scored on. But as soon as you score, you go and throw yourself deep in your own side of the field. How does that make it any better for you? It just doesn't make sense. You are better off losing, playing it all, playing forward, than retrieving, trying to preserve, and in the end, not even being able to preserve the one lead you had. England needs a manager that can take them over that last stage, that last obstacle that they keep hitting every time they run to the last few rounds of any competition. England has better quality than what they have been showing. It's a shame. Great players, quality players, great system, and the pride of knowing that every single one of these English players has played in the English Premier League. There is pride, but so far, this English team has not been able to find that, to tap into the next level, to go and take some type of international silverware. But as we know, we are going to have Spain against Argentina in the finals. We are going to see the ultimate clash of styles, best attack against the best defense. This matchup is ultimately footballing paradox and unstoppable forcing meeting an immovable object. The unstoppable force is meeting an immovable object. Argentina's firepower, La Albiceleste, enters the final as the tournament's most prolific attacking side, having racked up 19 goals. Their attack relies on emotional momentum, high-octane combinations, and explosive vertically. Spain's defensive wall, La Roja has been a defensive juggernaut, keeping 6 clean sheets and conceding only a single goal in all tournament. Their defense is built on structure, possession, and relentless high counter press that suffocates opponents' transitions before they can even begin. The midfield will be a chess match for Spain and for Argentina. We will see great performances in the midfield, and whoever is able to state themselves in the game is going to most likely open and dominate the game as a whole. The battle for control in the center of the pitch will dictate the winner of the final. Once again, Spain's central pivot, Rodri and Fabian Ruiz, will aim to establish total rhythm of authority using short, automatic passing sequences to push Argentina's deep into their own half. To counter this, expect Enzo Fernández and McAllister to play a highly physical game, exactly how they did against England, interrupting and not letting them gain that momentum of moving the ball in sequence. But they will be actively hunting to break Spain's passing lanes and feed quick transition balls into Julian and Lautaro Martínez. But lastly, to Spain, if this gets to them some way, somehow, hopefully, para España, primeramente España tiene que prepararse ellos mismos mentalmente para estar bien preparados para todo contra Argentina, porque Argentina les va a tirar todo. Argentina les va a tirar todo. Y lo más importante es la batalla mental con la que Argentina les va a dar prueba. Si España cae a la trampa del juego mental contra Argentina, Argentina los sacará del partido y les hará la misma situación. Y también España tiene que darse cuenta que Argentina usará los últimos 20-15 minutos, te llevarán a tiempo extra y te tratarán también de hacer lo mismo en los últimos 5 minutos, 10 minutos de los tiempos extras. Es una situación en la que España tiene que analizar bastante a su rival estratégicamente, ver qué tipo de fútbol juegan. Sí, es un fútbol táctico, físico, pero a la misma vez un fútbol donde el argentino te puede sacar de los quises mentalmente. But Spain has to get themselves mentally ready for everything that Argentina will be throwing at them. The mental battle is what really tests any opponent against Argentina. Spain has to analyze the way Argentina plays and realize that Argentina will try to create the same suffocation in the last 20 to 15 minutes of the second half. And if there's overtime, Argentina will try to do the same exact thing in the last 5 to 10 minutes of the extra time. But this beautiful sport at the highest level there can be, international level, has come to almost a conclusion. We have our final, Spain against Argentina, and then we have France against England fighting for third place on Saturday at 5 p.m. And we have Spain against Argentina at 3 p.m. in New Jersey at the New York, New Jersey Stadium. Technically, MetLife. But this is all for today. Esto es todo por hoy. Y para esos que no saben, esto es Pase Ambidiestro, Ambidextrous Pass, Fútbol Honestamente, Soccer, Football Honestly. And if you do not want to miss anything on the World Cup, please like and subscribe. Thank you all. Thank you for all of those that are always here. Thank you.